I see Frank and filled it out on us, huh? You'll be back in.
He just popped back up in.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
right
And
back. Yeah,
okay.
yes,
You
you
right
are.
back like you
call.
never left. Look at you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm back
Frank
in
is
this
right
joint.
back like he never left, and we are actually live at 5/7 Central. What's going on with everybody out there in Facebook, YouTube, live land? Welcome to Piranha
Hey.
Fine.
Eh.
I am I am your host, Director of Parks and Recs, Kingfish Mac. And I'm joined, as usual, by my piranhas in the pod. Next to me, never to the left of me, my boy Nick Nass. What's up with you, baby boy?
Yeah. Still trying to make it, shaking and baking, baby. See what's on the cook up for the day.
Under me, always in the pond, my boy, None Flyer. What's going on with you, baby boy?
What it do, man? I'm all types of chilling. You know me, man. In it to win it, goddamn it. In it to win it.
I heard that. And back from her sabbatical, had me worried as shit. Thought your health was wrong or something. Uh, and keeping the pond clean as hell is my girl, Nick Mo. What's going on with you, baby?
Hey,
Yeah, I got
everybody. I'm
it.
back. It was a long weekend, but I'm good now. Excuse my puffiness in my eyes and still my allergies, but just in my ass.
Hey, I got them joints too. I get
Right.
them
Mm-hmm.
joints bad too.
I ain't got my lighting, so my light ain't all the way great, but hey, even when I have the motherfucker, I'm still out. I'm still playing with it. I'm still in and out when I got it, so hey, I'm gonna just roll with it like this right now. Even when I have it right, I ain't right. So it's dopey. I
Shit,
be crazy. Somebody
we are.
said, "Why your light always missing?" I said, "Cause this motherfucker just be in and out." And then my sister said the other day, she was just like, "What do you have it plugged into?" And I was like, "I got it plugged into my computer." She said, "Nick, that's the problem." She's like, "That's too much voltage." She was like,
Yeah.
"Just plug it into the wall."
Yeah, plug that joint to
She
that
was like,
wall.
"Plug it into your wall." She's like, "I can't believe you had it plugged into your computer." I said, "It had a USB on it." I figured that's what I was supposed to do, and I wasn't even thinking that it's plugged in the wall. Like,
Yeah, everything got a USB on it.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Everything now. Everything
So
now.
now that I know that, so now I shouldn't probably have a problem with my light not plugged in the wall. But yes, so I was not. Mm-mm. But other than that, it was cool.
We had
Celebrated
Welcome
a
back.
my cousin's
We
Technical
miss
birthday.
difficult.
you. We
yeah, we
miss
I
damn
miss
sure
you.
did.
y'all. Oh,
Miss the
We had a
shit out
ball
you, girl.
yesterday though.
Yeah, we had a pretty good talk. Um,
She
I
got
think at the end we
technical
was all kind
difficulties.
of surprised that we kind of got through it. Without having your point of
Or is
view
that
on
me?
there, and we went over like a whole half hour, and we didn't have
Oh, that's
nobody to
K
tell
Mac.
us with that. We're
in
gonna
You
closing,
allowed it to
right
explain.
in closing.
gotta bring
That's
it
why
in.
we shot past
In
that hour too.
closing,
We shot right past that hour.
in
Like
Right,
no in
right.
closing,
closing.
right,
I think
right.
Nick had to end it yesterday.
Who?
Yeah, I think
You,
he did too.
Mr.
Uh,
Nash ended it
You
yesterday,
said
yeah.
I had a good time without me.
A little bit. A little bit.
No, we was
Look,
just in the house for real, for
the
real.
show must go on, and they did good without me. So I'm
Well,
so
shit,
happy that with
you was
them.
definitely here in spirit. Trust and believe.
Oh,
Yeah, for
thank
sure.
you, thank you.
So yesterday, we had, for those of you who may not have caught it or didn't catch the replay, we had a pretty interesting conversation. Uh, oh shit, Nick Nass is cloned again.
He
hi,
cloning
y'all.
himself. He cloning
Yeah,
himself
so
again.
so we had a pretty interesting conversation yesterday. What the conversation was whether or not the quote unquote thug gangster ex convict persona is actually part of the conversation in the black community with economics, family, romance, fucking healthcare, everything that we talk about that is important to us in the black community, or are important to us as a community. We kind of, touched on whether or not we thought the street hustler was part of that conversation. We kind of concluded that we had like three different points of view. I think Nick, you were saying that we should be right, and then Frank, you were saying it don't make no motherfucking difference because we move everything anyway, right?
Anyway, right.
Right. And then what I was saying was, I don't think we part of the conversation at all. I think that black male that we were talking about last week kind of purposely excludes us from the conversation when he's talking about relations between men and women and how we function in our community. But with that being said, I was talking to one of the Piranhas today, and something kind of interesting jumped in my head, right? And we kind of touched on it. Well, I spoke on it a little bit yesterday in one of my long ass soliloquies, but I thought it was a good time for us to actually discuss cannabis in the black community. What is or has been the stigmas, the thoughts, the ideas? How do we fit? What is our arrest rates in terms of us using and selling and shit in comparison to other races of people and other economic statuses, and how do older people look at weed as opposed to younger people now? Talk to me, Piranhas. How we look at pot?
I love it.
I
love it.
And you don't
I
have to
think
be
that it was
coming from.
definitely-
You don't have to come from a personal point of view either. I mean, you could just discuss how you
that's
feel
what
it
I'm saying.
affects
I
our
think that
community.
for a long time, it was a stigma and
As I
stuff
hit
like
the
that.
button.
It was definitely associated with, oh, you being wrong, or oh, you on drugs and stuff like that. And I mean, just compared to other stuff you could be doing, like heroin, coke. I don't have a problem with it no more. So I mean, I don't, so I'm not feeding to the stigmatisms and stuff anymore. Anybody that wants to do it, I'm more than fine with it. I'm more than fine with being with people who want to do it. I really don't give a shit one way or the other with that. I personally had seen those effects. Like I've seen people on heroin and coke, and and other like angel dust and PCP and stuff out like that. I haven't seen or don't remember. I hadn't seen any stories to where people shot up the fucking club, ran to the White House, or did some dumb shit that they was just looking. So
Tripping off some weed, right?
I ain't heard nobody going in and killing up their wife and their children, and relationship from these days, relationship problems worse than that. So I hadn't seen it. I'm glad people who were incarcerated are actually able to like get to parties and get out and stuff like that. And I've also seen the medical use of it. I know a couple of people who had cancer and who did need to use it. I know people like me and you were talking a couple of days ago and stuff like that. I was approached with it a couple of times. When I first had back surgery, I had a couple of people tell me, and then now with my knee, I have people telling me all the time, you should get the oil, and stuff like that. And
Get you some
so no,
CBD.
I
I
don't.
always tell you, get you some CBD.
Yeah. So I do not believe that that whole, like I said, in one time it had a real bad stigmatism. I don't really see it anymore, and my viewpoint has changed on it as well.
As it is dubbed God's plant, I believe that it is here for a reason, and that reason is for me to smoke it. No, but it's okay. So from the gate, I believe that they knew that it wasn't nothing wrong with the plant. I believe that they sidetracked the plant for a couple of reasons. Big cotton and big pharmaceuticals. God damn it. It was all about the dough from the beginning, So I'm glad they came around. Glad it's finally open to the people like it is, especially here in good old sunny Southern California, or California in the whole as a state. I don't know, man. It's always been the main staple of my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too many people who don't smoke weed, so that's pretty much normal to me. In terms of getting arrested, we at the bottom of the top, well, at the top of the list for that anyway. I don't give a damn if we was tap dancing in the middle of the street. We gonna
That's
get arrested first.
that's
So
interesting. Here, let me
you know
show
what I
you something.
mean?
So, although blacks and whites consume cannabis at about the same rate, we all smoke the same percentage wise. Blacks traditionally, and these studies go all the way. I looked at studies all the way back to 1996, where the numbers are 3.7, 3.9, 3.4, 4.7. We always around 4 times more likely than our white counterparts to be arrested for possession or sales of marijuana. And
Oh yeah.
speaking as a person who um, weed, I often say weed has always been the background music to my life. It's always been there. It just kind of exists. But I've also been on every spectrum of the marijuana argument. So I've been the teenager that was sneaking, smoking weed, coming in smelling like pot. Oh, you ain't getting nothing done because you off them weeds. I've been for real. I've been I've been the guy, who's grown, what I'm saying, in the hood with the weed sack. You know what I'm saying? The weed man. I've been to the penitentiary for possession and sales of marijuana. I've had a delivery service where I was legally, um, you know, performing, what is now um, one of the biggest industries and shit, right? So from every aspect, what I will say is that we kind of behind all the way around, right? Not only do we get arrested more, but when the opportunities came around, even as far back as, we'll say 96, 94, with the medical stuff in California, when it was cool to have pot as long as you were sick, right? The people that got in and took advantage of those opportunities didn't look like us, still don't. You know, right now I'm coming from a job where I was security at one of the farms, legal farms here in Atlanta, and there's no black people working there. There's no black owners. 40 farms in the back of Atlanta, and there's no black owners. None, not one. If a black person got it, no, I'll take that back. We do have one black owner. You know who that is? Shawnee
Snoop.
O'Neal.
Yep. In conjunction with a couple other motherfuckers, but
Right, because it ain't just her shit. She
no.
just got bread in it and is the face.
Yeah.
But other than that, you don't see no
White
big
people.
people involved in, and it's a trip, right? Because here it's predicted that by 2025, legal marijuana sales will earn as much as $23 billion a year. How much of that do you think that we set up to get right now?
About
And remember,
2%.
we are traditionally the ones that we are traditionally the class of individuals that pay the steepest price for the same participation in the cannabis shit traditionally as everybody else.
Mm. Yeah, that's deep.
That don't surprise me, man. They been on our asses about everything we do. Like I said, we can be shucking and driving in the middle of the street along with everybody else and every other race nigga. We gonna be 5 times more likely to get arrested for shucking and driving in the middle of the street than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that does
Well,
not surprise me at all. You know what I'm saying?
we didn't get Nick's viewpoint.
No comment. Now I say
Allegedly. Oh wait, hold on.
so I got a love hate relationship with it because like the same as Keith, that I kind of been at all spectrums of the thing all the way up to you know crossing over into the legal part of it, what they call the white market of it, and it still was the underlying thing. So if you're consulting, whatever, I still feel like people are still taking the blueprint on how we actually thrive, going back since the beginning of the time. and and maximize it. Now it's turning it over into big business. So the even the artisan person that to cultivate or whatever is still getting played out because they make it so not an easily reachable um, thing to get to even get your feet off the ground. So you get pretty much stuffed out by uh, the legal part of it, the licensing, the testing and stuff. So you have an enormous amount of debt you have to pay before you even get started. So your return on your initial investment is boom, zero. You actually take capital, how you said, capital gains and capital losses from the rip.
Yeah. 3 to 5 years to see any type of motherfucking
10.
shit. Well, there
You
you
gotta
go.
have a 10-year plan. You don't got a 10-year plan and a sustainable 10-year plan too, where you're able to pay the bills without making no money for, the first 3.
Right.
And then you pretty much ass out. And the way that they have it set up, it's a trip, right? It's California, man. California is being so progressive. And even when they talk about the thing, here, I'll give you a perfect example. So in 2012, right, I was running a delivery service that I thought was legal. It was legal under the city, but not under the state, right? It was just a whole bamboozle little hookup to get a bunch of niggas money who thought they was really just like, doing something legitimate or whatever. Right? So to make a long short, I end up in prison, right? For weed. Who goes to prison for weed is what you would say, right? I do the time. Soon as I get out, they change the laws, right? I'm
You
talking
walked them
about
off too.
soon as I got out. I got out on 420. Imagine that. I get out on a weed case on 420, right?
Wow.
And
Since
yeah,
liberation
not
soon after,
bullshitting,
nigga.
right?
Since
And
liberation
The
soon
week
after.
later.
and that November, California voted.
Yeah.
Right? It made everything, legal recreationally, but they didn't have, all the shit that we know, Nick or Frank. We all know all the regulatory shit wasn't in place,
Right.
but it was no longer a crime. Possession for sales of marijuana in California was no longer a crime. So they had a dilemma. What about all the cats that went to jail for this shit? Well, first thing, let them out. Secondly, those that's already out, like my ass, right? Out off parole, nothing to give me back. You ain't gonna give me no money. So what you do
They could at
is
least go to the record.
no. What they do is this: they give me an opportunity to go back and have my felony knocked down to a misdemeanor, and then they give me the opportunity to basically jump to the front of the line in terms of legal licensing. Right.
Okay.
So that's their give back. The thing about it is, to be legally licensed, right, and to run a viable business,
You can't have a felony.
fuck a 10-year plan. Let's just say a 1-year plan, right? You got to be working with upwards of $200,000 just seed money.
Period.
Just in regulatory shit. You know what I'm saying? Licensing, storage, security, all the shit that they require you to do. And every time you do one thing, then they tell you it's something else that you need to do. So if you're growing,
the felony down to a misdemeanor, being at the law.
Oh yeah, my shit got knocked down. It's not
okay.
down.
Well, that's good. That's something. Something.
Well, shit, that's the least. But you gotta ask for it.
At least
You gotta ask
I mean,
for it.
even with the misdemeanor, you don't have to get your record expunged. I mean, it's just misdemeanor. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But again, my point is that even when they do allow us the opportunity to participate, or what appears to be the opportunity to participate, there's so many hurdles in front of you that you pretty much don't be able to. Right. So basically, and then so even if you talk about like on the end use shit, right? So say you're the delivery guy again, right? And the thing about it is that there is no real tax that's passed from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the retailer. The tax comes when the person who uses it, right? So it's called an end use tax.
End use.
So that end use tax is a combined 30%.
Period.
Right.
30%. The average business is operating on 7% annual return on their investment. How the hell do you pay 30%?
There you go.
You give not only are you giving the state all of your profit, but you paying to be in business.
Let me tell you one thing. It's always, and that's always been the battle with it. That's why it was just so wrong for so long. If the government can't tax or they can't regulate it, they damn sure don't want you to profit off of
Oh hell.
See, and even now that they can tax and
it. And
regulate
even
it,
now
they
they
still
can,
don't
like you
want you to
said, who the
profit
fuck
off
will pay
of it.
30% tax?
They trying
You
to run
know.
motherfuckers out the game who
So
can't
what they
really
don't
afford to be in
basically
the
want you
game.
to do
Period.
is be able to have land mass, grow your shit, and sell it.
Period.
They're trying to run all the undesirables out the game, basically.
But it's never no undesirables though, because
No, I'm talking about to them.
Let me tell you how cold it is in California with the shit show. So say you got some land. Your land passed down from McLean to goddamn McLean. And now you got it, right? We'll just say it's just 2 acres, right?
use
You
permits.
decide, well, shit, I can grow pot on this. It's my land. I can grow pot. It's legal, this, that, and the third, right? Well, here's the first thing, right? You're going to pay a use fee just to grow weed on your
land
property. And it's going to cost you $13 per square meter. As it turns out, a square meter is about how much how much dirt it takes to grow one plant.
Yep.
So you got to pay $13
per plant
just to grow your shit on your own land.
So if you got 100 plants,
so basically they put you in such a tight squeeze to where they don't want you to be able to afford to do any type of mass production on your own.
Like
But so basically what you're doing is that if you want this fucking plant to feed your own habits, then go ahead on with the plant. But as in, like, if you want to produce to sell, that's not happening. If you want
they are trying to squeeze all the undesirables.
Right. The way I look at it is like this, right? Okay. Say if I get in business, right, and I'm doing we'll just say I'm doing $1 million worth of business and they tax me 22%, right? So I'm paying my 220,000 or whatever and shit, right? Okay. To me, that's fucking big business. I'm doing some shit, right? Because I'm a nigga that's coming from selling nickels bags or whatever, right? But imagine the dude who, just gets $20 million loan from his daddy. Them is the people that the government wants in business. They're not interested in my little shit. You know what I'm saying? They're interested in the people that's able to mass produce, so that it's worth the government's time to even be in your business. You know what I'm saying? It ain't worth their time to be in my business, right? To send the people out to come look at my little shit. I'm on an acre of land, or man, they not fucking with me. But the farm up the street that got 100 acres outside, 50 acres, 50 rooms inside. You know what I'm saying? They running 200,000.
Who can pay your little $13 of whatever? Yeah, and still have a whole corporate floor.
Goddamn
they
right.
worry about
they looking at volume.
They making
like
some money. If they can pay that shit and they ain't even tripping on it, then they gonna make it.
But look, Shell, this is the other cold part, right? So you actually, if you on the coast, you got to pay the coastal commission for any runoff for any nutrients that you have, right? Then the water is another whole day because you have to get allowed the water usage for your plants and the runoff, right? And if any discrepancy in the amount of water that you use,
shutting your ass down,
coming down, then now this is the cold part,
so
right?
basically, if you take showers 2 times a day, but say your kids move, and now y'all both taking 2 showers a day, so somewhere between 4 and 5. That's the reason.
Yeah, you have to have water credits. So now this is the coldest one of all. This is the coldest twist of all of it, right? Then you allow them to have access to your property if they knowing that you have any kind of producing of, and it doesn't even fall into agriculture, right? That any producing of cannabis flowers, you actually have to know the artist. I mean the original where that plant came from seed to finish. You have to pay somebody to know where did it come from, where did it develop, what stage it is, right? Along the day, all the way down to cutting off the leaves and keeping the weight on
And,
everything.
and you got to log all that shit in the system called metric system. Shit is like accounting for pot.
There you go.
Make a mistake on the metric, fine, start at 10,000. Start at 10,000 per violation.
And you can't
these
even
people
leave
are so not playing, man, out here. People be thinking that it's the big green rush. Nope. Niggas ain't getting no money out this shit, man. Niggas is still on the street selling eggs. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. Now, see, the thing is, and that's what you said, actually, how to affect the community, right? Because I call it the BM, the gray, and the white market, right? It's room for everybody. So it's called black market. Yeah, the black market, the gray market.
I can hear you and see y'all now. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so you got the black market, you got the gray market, and you got the white market, right? But it still needs all of those people to combine with stuff because it is an artisan community that is not bombarded with all these names and different things, you know. So it's like, even if you go to look into it, right, you have to have you actually have to purchase it up, just like on SourScan where you have to purchase what you call that, barcode. You pretty much got to purchase a barcode for every single plant, name,
RFID code.
Yeah, where it came from and everything. And if it dies, right, you gotta report it, and you have to get rid of it, and it better not show up if the numbers is off at the end of the time. Then there's like, what's the longevity of that, right? You actually, they want to know every nook and cranny. For if a leaf falls off, it throws off the weight. So imagine nobody had.
They got the Bureau. They got the
California Bureau
of Marijuana Bureau of Marijuana Control, right? And these motherfuckers just pop up at your spot with the RFID gun, the scanner gun, right? It's the scanner shit, the barcode shit. Yeah, that's what goes on every plant. You get 99 plants per barcode, right? So say the people come in and you only supposed to have this particular barcode in the room. And they just walk down the aisle just shooting the gun because it pick up everything. Beep, 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 bah. 10,000. Right?
Yeah.
Wrong plant in the wrong room.
Gone. $10 like Super Mario Brothers. Oh, now here we go.
You gotta have a well-oiled machine to get some money if you're growing, if you're cultivating out here in California for the legal shit. You really got to be able to to run that shit like a conveyor belt almost. You know what I'm saying? The other thing about it though, or the good thing about it, is that type of grow don't produce that fire that we used to have it, right? So for that kind of shit, you got to go to the boutique. You got to go to the boutique grower that's still growing in the garage, in the closet, some shit like that, trying to get a pound a month. Nigga charging your ass $60 an A for some shit like that, but you still beating the legal price.
Yeah. No, but then here comes the other thing, right? So this is where we actually fall off the. This is where we
completely fall the fuck off. If you can get through stages 1 through 5, 6 is definitely where it's gonna get real.
Yeah, 6 gonna kick you in the ass, and if you just make it past 6, you ain't got enough ass left to kick. Goddamn it! So 7 gonna fuck you over.
You completely done when you so you completely done when you get to this one. Go ahead, Dick.
So the thing is, right? The fatal blow comes to transporting your finished product to market, right? So it's a whole other story.
So you gotta go put that shit in the back of your car and drive.
No. So you lose all your profit and all your fine money and get another fine. So you gotta have.
Got to be packaged.
Go ahead, man. So
you gotta have a weigh bill on it.
You gotta have a weigh bill on it. You have to have a commercial license. You gotta have a transport ID license.
It then becomes freight.
You gotta have secure fucking vehicle.
It then becomes freight, nigga.
Yeah.
It then becomes freight like any other logistics fucking
Yeah.
fucking
And
commodity.
you better be heated.
Yeah, for sure. But they take that out of the equation because you go into other secure locations, right? So now this is the part, right? Because if any of you manifested in the time allotted that it needs to get to the destination, you can have 5 destinations, right? If you miss the time and off, you got to redo your whole manifestation. See, so if you had a flat tire, you pulled over too early, you're not in the allotted time, and you only could drive 10 hours. So if you want to take yours all clear across California, right? It's just like a
Just
freight
like
train.
driving a truck. Yep.
10
Yeah, like I
hours,
said,
you
it's
done.
And then you got to
like,
rest for,
like
10
any other
hours.
logistics commodity falls
Yeah.
under the
Yep.
same category.
Yeah. And it better not be late because then here we go, right? So if they call a whole bunch of people in, so either a 30-day pay, whatever the percentage is, they 25% down, 30-day billing, or 90 days if you put 75% down. And that's from everything. So right there, that's why I said it's kind of like a love-hate
You know
kind
what
of thing.
though? I will say this, right? It's a little cut that we was trying to get in once we realized, you know, we was growing at one time and shit, right? Out at the
Allegedly.
lake, we had 50 plants in the backyard, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we was all loaded for bear until they started hitting us with it costs this, it costs that. We was like, what the fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every day I go research and find some new shit we got to spend some money on that we didn't have, right? So what we ended up discovering was a little niche where I think that there's probably a lot of blacks that are kind of existing, and that is what we ended up terming the
Artisan.
the mid market wholesaler, right? Because remember, when you start to grow, you get taxed off the top, right? With the use fee, right? And then all your regulatory shit, right? When you at the other end, when you selling to the people, then you get taxed the fucking the state cannabis fee or whatever the fuck, the luxury tax or whatever, right? So we was trying to figure out how was it that we could kind of exist without really dealing with paying the government any money. And of course, it's in wholesaling, because wholesaling anywhere in the United States is non-taxable. There's no tax on wholesale items, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about it is you run into the thing because you have the transporter who really plays that role of the mid-level marketer, right? Because he's taking it from the manufacturer, who is the grower, to the fucking dispensary, who's the end seller, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, it's a little space in there, right? For somebody to make that deal, as long as you license. You
Yep.
license as a mid-level wholesaler, right? It's actually called a mid-manufacturer, right?
Mid-manufactured.
So it's basically like I got orders from Frank. He wants 20 pounds of whatever. And I know Shell's Farm got 20 pounds on deck. So I make the deal. And then I pay for the transportation company and all of that kind of shit. So I think niggas is sliding in and getting a little bread like that. Because, you know, you're able to put, you know, a couple of hundred a pound on top. You know what I'm saying? That shit start adding up when you start talking about you doing 100-pound runs and shit like that, right?
That's $100,000. So how you want to chop it up? Because the average price is $1,000 an elbow anyway. So
Right.
and this is the
Allegedly.
part where allegedly
In California, where it's legal.
Yeah. So
Very, very legal.
so
But yeah,
so
that's oh, go ahead.
but it's like you said, right? It's the economic impact that we all, you know, because we are business people at the forefront, right? So we sit down and we actually talk it out. But a lot of people don't have the conversation because they want the easy way out. They're just like, well, you know what, man, I just go spend my money on this. So that's when you start having the festivals and stuff with black plastic bags. You know, that was the other part of
Exactly.
yeah. And so and that is the part where, you know, in the beginning, Matt, that's what we actually talking about, a whole brokerage house. You know what
The
I'm
thing
saying?
about
So
it is, again, you got to have that cash, because it's not like you
yeah.
saying, okay, well, I could get it and then I'll pay you when I get back after making the fade. That's getting shit on
No,
consignment.
yeah, you
Yeah.
still gotta
fucking
have money to get there.
in the real world, right?
Gotta have
Yeah,
money
Like
to
only people
equip the
giving you some
vehicles you gonna
private
need.
Cisco when you've been buying from them for a year.
Yeah.
Other than that, you forget
Yeah.
about it. You better try
Because
to.
So
you got to sit
let
30
me
days
understand
anyways.
it correctly. So if you jump in at step 6, then it may be a little profit for you because if you jump in at step 6, so like you said, you know a guy that knows a guy that may need. So that's where you come into play. And you could, because I'm your cousin, so you know, like you said, somebody needs 20 pounds, and you know that I produce 20 pounds.
So the way that it would work would be like this, and this is why I say it would take money. First of all, everybody got to be in California. There ain't no cross state nothing. I don't give a damn
Okay.
if it is legal in the next state, right?
Right.
It's federal shit, and feds
In the
don't
state.
fuck with
Ain't
us,
fucking with
period.
you, right?
So
And
say
really, you want them to be in somewhat of a maybe at least a 7-hour radius, right?
well,
So you
yeah,
won't get
because
caught
you're gonna have
in
to
that
pay for the
10-hour thing, right?
transportation. Yeah, so you're gonna have to pay for the transportation. So
Right.
the shorter the transport, the least. You know what I'm saying? So what would happen is Frank
So they
calls
even
me.
got the Department of Transportation making money off of it too, because now you got to go get the Class C and all the other bullshit. So
Nah,
everybody in the
No.
government getting
nah,
paid.
It's not like that. It's
nah. The
not like that.
DOT, everything is kind of regulated by the Department of Agriculture,
Okay.
the California State Department of Agriculture, and basically the Businesses and Licenses Bureau of the state as well. The same people that give you
Well, you
cosmetology.
saying if you need a certain type of license to be in transportation, that's the Department of Transportation.
No, it's not.
No,
Because it's
no.
government. It's because you transporting
You transport,
usable goods.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then the
So
thing is,
it's like it's licensed through the bureau, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through the Bureau of Marijuana Control, right? Which is a whole new agency, but
there you
that
go.
agency is convened under the Businesses and Licenses section of the California Code.
Yeah.
Same way that the people that regulate your cosmetology license and barbering shit, people that regulate liquor licenses, these are all different agencies, are all different licensing agencies, all up under that same umbrella, are given power under the same umbrella. But they usually are ran by a different arm of government. You feel what I'm saying? So in our case, they are that arm of government, the California Bureau of Marijuana Control. Period. Right?
Okay.
And then
But
under them, the people that give you the licenses, who actually license you, is Cannabis. That's who
yeah.
takes your application and all that shit. But so it's like two
No,
different.
I'm talking about the one you said that you need for transportation. You said you have to have a certain class, right?
No, not class like a driver's license class. Not like
Yeah, your
that.
driver's license. You said it has to be. It can't be like a regular class E. You said it has to be a certain class.
No.
No.
Oh, it
He
don't
meant
have to be. Okay,
he
I
meant
thought it had to be
Your
like
classification in
driver's
terms
like
of
license don't got
it don't
business.
have
nothing to
to
do
be a
with it.
certain class.
No, he meant
Nah,
classification in terms of business.
Yeah, you're not
Business
driving.
classification.
You're not driving a limo. You're not driving a big triple axle truck or nothing like that. You generally in a van, a Sprinter van, fully
Right.
armored. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Just you and another dude.
Okay.
So it's really just a regular vehicle. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be
Okay.
licensed by the bureau to be able to transport what you
Okay.
got in the back, right?
Yeah.
That's what.
So
Okay. I see
so
what you're
let's not get misunderstood because the agriculture cannabis doesn't fall under the agriculture, so you can't go get an agriculture loan like if you was growing
But what?
tomatoes and stuff.
No, not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
No,
saying
I
is
was just
that.
making it clear.
Oh, what I'm saying is that Okay, so you got the two agencies, right?
Yeah.
You got the Bureau of Marijuana Control, right? Bureau of Marijuana Control is basically an enforcement arm, right?
Mhm.
They make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Then you got
Mhm.
Cannabis, who provides you with the opportunity to do what you're supposed to do. So they take your application, issue your licenses, this, that, and the third, right? But remember, Nick, Cannabis started at remember, it was about growing. It wasn't even about selling.
Yeah.
It was about the different classifications of your grow. So at the time, we fell under what was called a cottage grow, right?
Cottage, that's right.
And cottage grow was 50 plants indoor or 50 plants outdoor, or if you had a combo inside, because you get it for your light. So it's your indoor light license or your outdoor light license. So 50 plants or what was it? 50 square feet, right? That's outside. And then inside, it was 50 plants, regardless of your square footage, right?
Yes.
And then you talking about light wattage and all that kind of shit. So that was that's the smallest license that you can get to be legal in terms of having a commercial grow license. And that was issued by Cannabis, who was convened by the California Department of Agriculture, because they were talking about grow shit. Now, once you got talking about extracts and sales and, you know what I'm saying, all that, and in the track and trace shit, that's where the Bureau comes in. And they'll come knock on your door too.
Yeah, or now if they see
Cannabis gonna send your ass a letter. They're gonna be like, it's time for you to re-update your shit, right? The Bureau gonna come knocking on the door with the cameras and the fucking radar guns and all that shit. Right?
Yeah, and so
the Bureau is like any other bureau. They like the FDA. They like the FDA. They go regulate.
Yeah. Bureau. And it will show up. They'll show. And if you don't take care of the situation, the overage or whatever, right? They'll actually bring a wood chipper and chip your stuff up. That's just like you can't even open grow no more. You have to have these things called hoop houses. So who's gonna put hoop houses in their backyard? Everything got to be covered. You got to pull tarps.
Well,
right?
It depends on how far up the mountain you live.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's a factor. But allegedly, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I don't want to think.
You want to.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Grow expeditiously. Go.
That don't exist anymore. No. So the thing is, right? So like he said, how it impact our community, because just the phone calls alone, right, will discourage you for even trying to take. I might as well go on the fly like we used to do. You know what I'm saying? For the fit in, because even if you don't got the right packaging, the right thing to get it to market, you just might as well go ahead and, sit on the stoop, or make that call, or just keep it amongst yourself. And that's what
keep it in the streets, nigga. Keep it pretty much in the streets.
But
make your dough in the streets.
But then the thing is, people get so inquisitive, right? We want to go to the bright, shiny store where everybody coming out, everybody chopping it up,
with the pretty names and
the pretty
names,
nice
displays and shit.
Yeah. So the thing is, right?
Pretty bud tenders behind the thing.
So like for the like the dummy in the business like me, a place like Planet 13 that's thriving, they pay a lot of money a year in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dispensary, Planet 13. So they paying out the ass. They making money, but they paying a lot of money just to be in business.
The overhead is so high on in-use cannabis, retail cannabis businesses, right? That they basically have to pass it down to the customer overtly. It be on your receipt. You know what I'm saying? All this different extra shit that you got to pay because they got to pay it.
Yep.
So the best, look, I'm gonna tell you, right? When the two dispensaries opened in Atlanta, at the time that they opened, they should have been my competition, but I was really just getting out the game at the time, and so I was like, well, shit, let me go see what they like. I want to buy some of this prepackaged shit too, right? Turns out, like most of the weed, if I'm paying average price for the weed in a dispensary, is trash. Anything that's worth anything, they're gonna call it top
Top
shelf,
shelf.
and they're gonna put that fucking premium price on it. And it's like, why the fuck do I want to go get this shit when my homeboy lived right around the corner? This nigga's sitting on the porch. Only thing I don't get is a pretty package.
Only
I'm gonna
thing.
get my shit in a plastic bag, but it's gonna be that
Right.
gas
Yeah.
for $15 less or whatever. You know what I'm
Period.
saying? So
And gas money.
at
So
first,
basically,
when
what you're paying for the legality of knowing that I actually bought it legally and it's
Yep.
packaged nice.
The
Yep.
well,
experience.
me and
The
Nick had
experience.
I think me and Frank might have talked about this shit too one time, right? I think what it is that it's the cutesy shit. It's like it's
That's
trendy.
it.
It was trendy. You know what I'm saying? So it
Mhm.
became, oh damn, you still buying street weed? And I was like, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's kill. What's wrong with
Right.
you? Right. And
Right.
then I think that what happened is that kind of wore off. Now the dispensary still does good business, right? Because you're always gonna have the community of people who don't frequent the streets and don't want to have fuck to do with the streets, but they smoke.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And get off of work. Let me swing by the dispensary. You know,
Pre-roll.
pick me up an A for
They
a couple
going
of
to
pre
Vegas.
rolls.
They don't know nothing about Vegas. They don't want to get killed, so they gonna go to the dispensary.
There
Right.
you go.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and you get so much more of a choice. It's like being at the
Mhm.
supermarket. So
Right.
variety is all
Yes,
right now,
sir.
Atlanta Tote.
Yes, sir. It's all about presentation, goddammit.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. What I was saying was that you're always gonna have that community of people that just get off work, you know, want to buy, you know, a little something, make it home safe, and is willing to pay a premium price. As a matter of fact, you kind of tell yourself that you getting what you're paying for. Like, you know, I'm paying to not have to go deal with this bullshit. You know, I got to roll up to the liquor store. It's 8 niggas coming to the car. Everybody got a bag open, talking about smell this OG and all that shit. You know, everybody can't deal with that, right?
Yeah. I said
For real though.
I said Raymond right there. Raymond. I like Raymond. Raymond's my man. You know what I'm saying? Well, Raymond told me to come to you. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. You know, but and that's the one thing where it really, you know what I'm saying, took a toll on the community because now people are you have more of a choice, right? More variety. And it's the experience. You walk in, it's like, oh, I didn't even know that existed. But when it comes down to it, it's either one or the other. You know, what you want. You want up, you want down. You know, you
Yep.
want some pottery stuff that's bad for you, or GMOs, or genetically modified, and all the rest of this stuff that I
Well,
know
let's
about
get to it.
allegedly. You know,
Let's get
and
to it, Nick. Since you are getting scientific, and we got, you know, a few minutes left.
you know what I'm
So,
saying? And that's the ugly part of
so,
my whole thing. Go
so,
ahead.
so, 3 of us at least, right, admittedly have had quite a history with God's beautiful plant.
Yes, sir.
It's funny that now we're talking about the legalization and how it affects us as a community. One of the ways that legalization has affected our community, and I'm not even talking about the black community, I'm just talking about the pot smoker community, is that, how can I say it? There ain't no other way to say it. The white boys got a hold of the weed and turned it into a science. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you got all these various different. I mean, weed used to just be you grew that shit in the backyard and it come up and you dry it and you smoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you got extracts, you got shatter, you got crumble, you got wax, you got distillate, you got edibles,
Tinctures,
Tincture.
oils,
tinctures, right?
kills,
Come on, man, you
fuck,
got everything.
everything.
So, and you know, and just to, you know, as a disclaimer, man, I'm not a dabber, man. I dab, but it just feels too much like I might be like trying to smoke crack or something. I don't know.
Right.
It just don't feel right to me.
It's
Blow
not for
torches
weed.
and
It's
Weed out
glass.
no
unnecessary for
glass
weed.
pipe. They shaking that shit around. Nah, I'm good, bro.
Nah, I'm
It's
good.
But
unnecessary for weed.
one of the things that the 3 of us are aware of that probably a whole lot of people in the audience that blow don't is that with the science comes the opportunity to cheat, especially cheat the people who don't know the science. So to just keep it simple, THC is what gets you high in weed. THC comes in the form of what we call trichomes. Trichomes, once the weed is dry, turns into crystals on the weed. It's still what gets you high. With the science has come various different methods to remove the crystals from the weed and leave the flower still intact so that they're able to now basically double sell the weed. So the weed is tested at 27% THC. They blast it or, what we call freeze
Shake
fry
it.
it.
Yep,
You know what
freeze
I'm saying?
fry it,
Agitate that shit, knock off 2/3 of the trichomes, still sell it for what it tested as. You buying still this shit that you think is 27%. Now it's like 12%. And all the rest of those trichomes they got to make into wax, shatter, all that shit.
That's why niggas' weed don't be as blingy as it used to be.
That's why your weed don't be sticky and
that's why it don't be as blingy as it used to be.
Right, exactly.
And it breaks down into powder. Now,
but Skybox keep that blingy shit though. Skybox keep that blingy shit though.
So then the other thing, so like I said, allegedly, right?
We
so
got the crystals, baby.
Yes, sir. We keep the bling, nigga. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So what people don't know, right? And once you
allegedly.
So and once you get the
now fuck
the
that,
GMOs,
we legal. Skybox on the map.
Yeah. So once you get the Sheldon, once you get to the GMOs, genetically modified, right? It actually, when you smoke it, you become a representative of that genetically modified weed. It's in your blood now. So it's actually traces of their strain inside of you, right? Then the other stuff, all the other harsh chemicals, if you're going to use hardener to put the weight on,
I was just thinking
PGRs,
about that shit, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
And all that shit that when you break down your weed, it turns into dust and shit.
Yeah. What Nick is talking about right now, Shell, is all the shit that when you open the bag, make you be like, God damn, this shit here is some, but you ain't smoked nothing, right?
Nothing.
So the sticky, stinky, crystally, fake crystals though, right?
Yeah,
not
terpenes.
THC crystals, just fucking sugar on top of the fucking plant. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of shit are additives during the growth process that are meant to market the weed better. It's meant to just excite your fucking senses rather than to get you higher.
Yeah. Now it puts our community, or how we say it, the cottage weed growers out of business, right? Because now you got to upsell all this stuff that's been hyped up to where it is for the look and the smell or whatever. All you have to do is put it in a jar and let it season.
Right. And
you try to get to market so fast.
Just to add to what Nick is saying, just a quick one. All that shit we talking about are carcinogens.
There you go. So we actually killing ourselves.
All cancer causes. Now, you know, there's no carcinogen material in a naturally grown marijuana plant, right?
Not at all.
There's no tar, there's no nicotine, there's none of that
so
shit,
they
right?
add that to it.
Right.
Yeah, with bud hardeners and all that other
bud hardeners and man, just
you know, it says phosphorus.
They're adding to it because they're trying to modify the product, basically.
Trying to modify the product to appeal to the market
and make it heavier to appeal to their
sell you on that shit, right? Because you rarely get, the nigga in the street that's got, 11 different kinds of weed and shit, right? And all of them smell different. Be able to tell you this, that, the third, but it's rare that. But they grow weed for the market, and the dispensaries are like the commercial.
There you go.
The dispensary sets the tone, even to the extent that here, me and Nick and Frank, we always laugh about this, right? A few years ago, the big joke used to be, what is this? What you smoking? That ain't no endo, that's some outdo. But we always say, how the fuck do you get better than Mother Earth and the sun?
You can't.
You cannot.
If you growing hydroponic weed inside under a light, in water, you trying to play God, but God is playing God outside. So how do you make a better product than God?
Yeah. So the thing is, because
but the dispensaries have sold us on that idea, that outdoor weed is not as good.
Nigga, outdoor be fire.
That what you want is this. You want this shit grown in water, huh?
Yeah, it got a discrepancy.
So basically,
so
it's like basically with beef. Beef is beef, but now you got people say, well, it was grass fed, so it's better form of beef.
Yeah.
So when we say Skybox Organics, the description is in the name.
Mm-hmm.
Sky
For real,
box.
for real.
Yeah.
The
We
organics.
everything organic. We ain't fucking with no hardened chemical, none of that shit. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Not worth it. I'd rather smoke clean and save my fucking money. Shit.
Yeah. We talk about like 0.31, you know what I'm saying? 2 or 5, you know, NPKs, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that is the part that really gets you out of the thing, because now you try to, then the big business like, well, you trying to cheat the game because you're not offering nobody nothing else. So you asking them to full what it's supposed to be instead of what we need it to be, you know, what we want it to be. And the price points actually hit, because you go in there, it's like, oh, well, oh, it's not hard enough. It's too fluffy. It's too airy. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even getting to buy. Now, this is the big thing. If you come from seed, because you don't know what kind of clones you get in there. They could tell you whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. And
You don't
that's
know
the
what
whole,
kind of seeds you get. Let me tell you
Right,
shit.
yeah.
right, because we got
That's
some.
I'm about
They
to go
slid some
next.
autos under us.
You know what I'm
Shit.
saying? Auto flowers. And I know, look, because allegedly at one time I developed my own strand,
Oh yeah,
Sure
we
right?
got.
did.
We
Still
oh
got
man,
seeds.
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
we
saying?
need to do.
And
Still
I
got
always kept,
seeds, goddammit. That
look,
Animaniac OG.
and I always
This
kept
is
it hush
fire.
hush because I was just protecting my thing. I never want to be in the forefront. I never want to be the highlight reel, right? But I
Yeah,
actually met,
he just let me take all the fucking hits, right?
Hey, and
you know what I'm
I
saying?
was love taking them too. Fuck that. It
You
was
know what I'm saying?
fire.
So the thing is, right, in my
That
development
Animaniac was fire though, for real, for real.
in my development shell, the thing is, it came with a gift and curse because people said it was too strong, you know, because I made it for the sick people, you know what I'm saying, as myself, right? So I actually set out to uh, isolate, you know, F1, not no hybrid, a straight, pure seeded plant. That was nurse football size inside, where it shouldn't even have happened. 6 foot inside under artificial stuff. You put it outside, it's just like ooh wee, right? But it came with a curse at the same time, because now, you know, I had got a bad taste in my mouth, because even when I wanted to offer for all the properties that it had, I still got shunned. Right? It's like, how did you make this up? How did you come up with it? Where did it actually come from? And I'm like, from my blood, sweat, and tears. You know, I think it's only 4 people that actually 3 that got their hands on the animating yet. You know what I'm saying? That still lives on. So that's, you know, the universe blessed me to develop some stuff like that, and it's good. You know, other than that, I keep it for my family that know where
So
it came. Yeah.
Nick, before I forget, I got somebody in my text telling me to, well, I'll let you because you're better at it. Explain the differences in the strains, you know, sativas versus the indicas. What's good for what? What might be good for what?
Well, today you never know what you get, because it's such thing called a hybrid. So
Hybrid. Everything pretty much is hybrid almost.
so
Everything, right?
yeah, it's no two strands no more. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be cut
Unless
with
you
something
grow
for
them.
the sun. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, if you go back, the only thing I can tell you, if you go closer to equator, like Mexico, anything closer to the equator, and bring it back to your house and do it the right way, you'll be happy.
Well, just in terms of so what the dispensaries have taught us since '94, right?
But it has changed so much. I don't even
Right.
know.
No, what I was about to say was that um, they've kind of sold us on the idea that indicas are that couch lock, deep high, you know what I'm saying, eyes tight, don't want to go nowhere, sit on the couch, eat up the Twinkies and fall asleep high. Whereas sativas are more of active, more creative thinking, moving around, you know, and being that is what it is. I think that a lot of times people get more heavier sativa because you're gonna get pretty much get a hybrid because you got people are gonna try to sell you a strain of weed based upon the name and either the THC or the CBD content. If you're looking for something that's going to relieve pain and you smoke, you're going to want to try to get something with a higher CBD content. And sativas generally have more of a CBD content.
Not
Say
anymore.
it again. Repeat that again. If you want to
pure
what?
sativas. If you want something that's going to like relieve pain, relax you, help you with your nausea, give you an appetite, that type of shit, right?
So that's more of a CBD. Okay.
No, that's yeah. But that's
what I was
more
saying about the
sativa.
pain stuff. You want to get something that's got high in CBD, right?
Okay.
Like if you're dealing with pain type of things, more medical shit.
So more for medicinal, yeah.
Yeah, if you're more, you're just trying to get blowed, you want some gas, then you want to be trying to lean closer to the indica side of the spectrum. But as Nick said, nowadays they're going to sell you on the strain and the THC content, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indicas are generally going to be higher in THC content, right? In the 22 and above, and sativas are going to be a little lower because remember the sativa is meant for you to be able to function. Not go to sleep, wreck the car, none of that bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now that's what the science tells us in California cannabis culture.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of developed a different idea about it, right?
Yes.
We just kind of developed the idea that weed was weed, but some weed is stronger than other weeds. So they just developed a way to sell you this weaker weed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell you that, smoke this kind right here, you'll be able to function. But if you smoke this, you're going to go to sleep. Well, that means that this shit here is stronger, right?
Yeah. So
I don't want strong shit, right?
Just the way to put price tags on that shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I'm about to I got to throw a rock in the piranha pond, right? Because I was one of the first people to go to another state, to Oregon, to dry commercial hemp, right? It looks the same. Everything's the same. Might have some seeds, might not have some seeds, right? But
CBD content is extremely high.
So that's all. And you don't even need to smoke it because once they extract all that in a low heat, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much in there to win that, but they don't want to tell you that though. You know what I'm saying? So it's the thing
it's not
is that
regulated like marijuana is.
Yeah, because it can go everywhere. You can actually put that in your car and drive it across state. But it's worth more bang for the buck than anything with THC because people don't know that the CBD is not activated till the THC kicks in. Because if you have straight CBD and smoke it, you're just gonna get the smoke. The CBD probably is gonna go to your lungs, go to your cap, how you intake it, right? But if you ingest it through your stomach, it's gonna be even better. So if you got anything that's high in CBD and low in THC, it's still gonna activate the THC. So this is the cold part, right? That if you got a government job or whatever, you're still gonna get fired. How about that? So it's not legal. And that's the God honest truth. You be like, oh, did I was coming in for a test? I just had some CBD. If you didn't have pure CBD, you know what I'm saying? Or 1 point, or the THC has to be 0.1 to be classified as a CBD because every hemp plant, you know what I'm saying, has a trace of THC. But you just can't be like, yeah, consuming that and think you're gonna go to a job and think you're still gonna function. You know what I'm saying? Your whole life is ended. It's not like it's legal like drinking a beer. No, you got to do a drug test. It will show up in your urine. Period. So, for all those misconstrued, but here to tell you, me being all the way in the white market business, making decisions, sorting out stuff, so forth and so on. I hate to say that our community or people or any the regular blue collar person is not getting this cannabis game. Period. Unless you got backers. Let's not even talk about the LLC and let your stuff sit for a couple of months and have to come with the money, a nonprofit organization, and you got to get a board. It's like, woo! You stop at the third phone call. The first agency that you call, you're gonna be like, man, come on.
What I'll say is this, right? I tried to learn when they finally, because it took them 1.5 years to get all the licensing and the track and trace shit in place. So they adopted the track and trace system that they was using in Colorado and where else? Washington.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as soon as it was online, I called this nigga and was like, hey, nigga, what's up with the metric shit? This nigga's like, nigga, they having problems. Whoop-de-whoop, this, that, and the third. I'm like, I'm thinking this might be our end right here, right?
I just came from a seminar.
Right, it's accounting, weed accounting on the computer. I could do that, right? That's what I'm thinking, right? This is gonna be a fucking good thing for me to get in.
I sent you the plug.
The fucking metric people, they won't even let you in the system
Without the number.
If you don't work for a registered licensee. They not teaching you shit. None of that. All that being a consultant, learning their system, being a consultant and doing it for 3, 4, 5 different fucking roles and keeping their book. Nah.
Yeah.
So you need to come in at the expert level and not as an intermediate or beginner.
No, everybody's at an intermediate level.
I allegedly ended up getting sent access to the program, right?
Allegedly.
So I went in and looked at that shit, right? And it was not nothing that I could just look at and learn.
No.
Now that's saying some shit, man. I ain't blowing no smoke up my own ass.
No, I know,
man,
because I know you helped Betty on a couple of math problems. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You was like, this was no shit I could look at and just learn.
Shell. I went to the seminars, right? I was one of the first people to go to the seminars, right? Now you talking about, okay, let's for example, me and you, right? So you know about restaurant management, right? So I come in and say, Shell, look, we're gonna get Ledyard, Cisco, and whoever, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna actually find out who's the lowest price. But we're gonna go to Mr. Craig around the corner, that guy, goat. He got aged beef ribs, he got a smokehouse or whatever, right?
So you have a specialty meat person, right?
Yeah, so the thing is, right? So we go there and they say, hey, but Ledyard got the same thing in plastic, you know what I'm saying, that's wrapped up, air package, whatever, at a premium price, but you can get it cheaper here. But they call on Mr. down the street and say, you know what? Our master cutter cut it off, and the weight don't even add up to what we weighed it up from this beef that we got over here, right? But we say, hey, well, let's get in the system and add it all up for the FDA. What is the criteria? They tell you, I don't care if you're the manager. Ledyard's already in there with us, and they got a base number that you need to be active, right, to give the cost back to your patrons, right, that patronize your business, right? So he's out of the question, but his stuff is the best everything. And they say, well, do the numbers, right? But they say he's locked out of the system, you locked out of the system, and nobody else can get in there. Like that.
That's crazy.
But the thing is, you homegrown and still have to. Now he has to go buy a computer that he knows nothing about. He got a Metascale, pennies. He don't have his thumb on the scale. Talking about, I'm gonna charge you a little extra to get in the store. Right?
Thumb on the scale, Nick.
And this is the thing that you got faced with. Like I called him, I said, man, the game has changed forever, right? He's like, what you mean? I was like, man, it's nowhere in the world that a person that runs their own homegrown business, wife, kids, so forth and so on, could do all these things in conjunction, right? Or concurrently, and make it happen on a daily basis. Because at 5 o'clock, right? If you got people moving stuff, house or whatever, you have to know where everything's at all of the time, in real time, at the end of closing, the stock market.
So to wrap it up, what do you guys think that we as a Black community can do to be better represented in the cannabis business as it continues to grow exponentially? And it's continuing to grow, trust and believe, because people ain't stopping smoking or using cannabis for a variety of different reasons. And government all across the United States, slowly but surely, is deciding to have a fucking hand in things. So how do Blacks?
I think you got to keep on your government officials, because Virginia just came fully, and that's in a lot. I mean, but according to my sister, Virginia is a lot more liberal than it like people think that it is. It's very, very liberal. So, but Virginia just became one of the states that just fully, stuff like that. So, but and that's strange, because that's the area to where it's nothing but people that work for government agencies, that whole area, which is which is crazy. You ain't talking about a state like Mississippi.
Nope.
You're talking about Virginia.
Talking
But
about Louisiana.
yeah, I mean, we always, yeah, yeah, no at the same time, like no. But basically, if I just think that if you, it's just like any other business concept, like what are your strengths? You're gonna, if you don't know it all, then get someone who does know more than you. I mean, because I think you have to like I'm always, you're gonna have to know somebody that's gonna know you have to know the business aspect of it. But at the same time, you have to know somebody that knows about the product. And most people not gonna be both except Nick. I mean, how many Nicks you got around? So growing their own strength. And knowing the system, like you said, Keith. It's not that you can't learn that system, but again, someone who's very fluent in math, you'd have to put pen to paper to really get that system down.
Right. You have to go up. You would have to learn it the way that they
The
instruct it.
the way
And you
that
can only
they're
get the
used
instructions
to.
from them.
They change
It's
it
not
every other
just like you
month.
said, not just like the
That's
regular,
fucking crazy.
metrics. Is they want you to, right. And even
They change.
though that plan might not be the best plan, like you said, former bill model was already in the system, and that's the metric they going by. Like,
Mm-hmm.
They change it every week, every month, right? So this is my honest. You know, I'm gonna put it on spiritual level. This is what God is telling me to tell y'all right now, right? So the thing is, if you're going to get in this industry, become electricians, become uh, consultants on how to uh, make more
HVAC.
usable energy. You know what I'm saying? Build, construction. Get your construction company, electricians, lighting specialists, and go at it from that angle and let the bullshit be with the bullshit people, because at any moment the lights can go out, your plants could die. Outside, the weather, smoke, fire, you got too much stuff to deal with. Air conditioning uh, specialists. If you're gonna do that, get your companies up for when these big tobacco companies comes, you know, you actually buying up all this land, you want to be the one that's building it. You want to have the construction companies. You want generational wealth because
okay, so you saying invest in those things because uh, get trades in those things because they're gonna need you.
there you go.
They're
You're
gonna
not going to
they're
need
gonna
them.
need, like you said, it's gonna be like HVAC. That salary, that type of occupation is gonna go up
Yeah,
because now that it's becoming legal everywhere, people need
yeah.
you to
Clean
help with
air,
the right.
you know, because one major thing is that the smell interrupts the whole community. So if you go running air conditioning filtration systems and stuff like that and not let the smell out, if you get proficient in that, that's where it's going to be, where you could build for your children, the community and stuff. It could be right in your neighborhood. Go from one
Because
door to
now
the
you're
next
a
door.
specialist. Now people calling you where he can get it, and then you won't have to sell. I know a
Yeah,
guy
it is
that
going to
that
be
that can do your system in such a way to
water,
where
heat,
right,
light, air
right.
conditioning.
So you're gonna
Get
need
those
all
companies
those different components. You're
and
gonna need
contract
somebody
with
to
these
build the
people.
shit for you in a certain kind of way that you're gonna be able to do your lighting right, your
Yep,
solar, however you're gonna be doing it.
yep. Pour the
Yeah, you're gonna
foundation
need
for your
electricians
building.
because, like you said, you need your shit to work on a generator when the fucking lights go out.
Yeah, yep.
You
Even
got a
even
whole
down.
generator in a bag just for it.
Yeah, generators, generation specialists, diesel mechanics, all of that stuff, because it's going to be an industrial climb right now. It's going to be
Hmm.
massive. I'm talking about like 80,000 square feet, 100,000 square feet,
Hmm.
lights, water, reclaiming water system, water specialists, pH balance, all that stuff. Period.
Plumbing, all of that.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Getting to all of those. For
That's you.
me, I believe that if we again, man, we gotta find our lane, and I believe our lane at first is the mid-level transportation shit, man. It's like low key the easiest way to get into it. After that, we got to start our farms, man, and fuck with our own folks. Period. You know what I'm saying? We got to
Hmm.
grow our own for our own. You know what I'm saying? Control our own, at least as much as California let us anyway. But you know what I mean. until we can control some of them goddamn laws. Get their asses up off of us a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fuck with your
Yeah.
folks. That's basically the only way out of this bullshit. Fuck with your folks, man. Get stingy. Fuck with us. We fuck with us, we can make it out of all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Shell?
Again, I mean, just like I said, like if I was looking at not knowing anything about it, looking from like you just need to have somebody that's gonna be strictly doing your book, strictly making sure you straight and legit and all you do, you know, and like you said, just kind of like, you know, having somebody who actually knows what to do, like again, like you said, like you need, you need somebody to know how to grow your plant, when to water it, how much light to give it. You need expertise just in that alone, you know. So yeah.
I
And
think
again,
that
if you want those other laws passed, then putting the right people in place, and that's gonna start with those local elections. Putting the right,
Local politics,
putting the right
people.
people in place that's gonna fight for your, for your region, for your precinct, and all that.
Local
That
politics,
kind of shit
people.
matters.
Local
And
politics,
and
people.
then every day, shit, Inglewood may be doing something different than Santa Monica because they got different people in place. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah. So
All
I,
right, Mac, what's your thing?
I think for the in terms of the greater question, I think we're getting left behind, as with everything else, because we are being provided with what I would consider to be a false opportunity, right? Um, and then we're being priced out of that opportunity, right? The thing about it is that it is still opportunity, right? So I think that in this day and age, what you see happening right now with some of the more popular celebrity faces that are connected with cannabis, these are not people that grow cannabis. These are people that license their brand to a particular
Mm-hmm.
cannabis company to promote a particular strain or whatever, right? They don't really. I mean, Wiz might be in the grow room every once in a while, but this nigga got to go do a concert in London, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you're in London, you ain't in the grow room, and you need to be in the grow room every day. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So again, what I kind of got through off, what I was trying to say is that instead of each individual trying to outshine the other individual, that my brand name pot is more popular or more palatable to the regular consumer, that they can go get it in the dispensary. What some of these more affluent black folks need to do is combine their resources and get in the game for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? And then provide opportunities for other less affluent people. Here, I give you some Freeway Rick was saying that he was going to do this. I don't know how far he went in doing it, but he's licensed, right, on whatever level, right? He's a licensee. And so what his idea was to come in with everybody that's like me, right? Been in jail for the pot shit, get jumped to the front of the line, don't have the resources to do the shit, and put some money behind them. You know what I'm saying? In partnership with them, make them licensees, and then turn their whole shit around so that you don't have to worry about, well, damn, I'm still the weed man. Everybody still love me, but I can't get in the game legitimately. I'm financially handicapped from getting in the game legitimately, so I'm back on the block with the apes, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
Um, Secondly, and this is probably much more importantly than any of that, there are a bunch of opportunities in the cannabis industry that don't require you to grow or sell pot.
Period.
So there are actual cannabis companies that trade. You know what I'm saying? You can actually buy stock in cannabis companies. You can actually buy um, investment portions of land that is about to be, translated into cannabis growth sites. it's a bunch of things that you can do to kind of be in the industry as just an individual person and get a little bread out of it. It
I have a
just takes
question
some
for you.
investigate. Mhm.
So how does a small mom and pop like skyscraper survive?
So how does a small mom and pop do what?
Like what? How does a small mom and pop like skyscraper? How does it survive?
Well, how do we survive?
Yeah.
Well, we survive because we not doing nothing retail, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
everything that we do right now is kind of because we wasn't able to get licensed like we wanted to be, and then I fucking closed the house down in out at the lake. What we do now is just basically for us, right? So all the shit pictures or whatever that you see, the grow pictures or whatever, it's really just for us to keep us from having to go and pay for weed retail on the streets
And not
Okay.
get poisoned. That's the number
right.
one thing.
That was always my thing.
Not get poisoned.
My thing was not so much that I don't smoke weed because I still buy dispensary weed. I mean, shit, we run out. You know what I'm saying? So I still got to go down there and just grab a couple of zips and some shit, right? Whatever it is,
way different
get
though.
me through. But it's a whole different thing. But generally, we grow right now to save money from buying. I smoke a lot of weed, man.
A lot. Me too, man. A lot.
I always used to say that I never judge people that smoke crack because I probably smoke way more weed in dollars.
Way more weed than they smoke crack, right?
You know what I'm saying? But look,
so yeah, I save a lot of money. Here, I'll tell you like this, right? I have not worked, right? I haven't worked since November, right? I haven't had no problem paying nothing. And it's not that I sell anything, it's that I don't have to fucking buy nothing.
buy the weed.
Right? I gotta buy that fucking weed.
Because that's just like growing your vegetables, and that's another thing, right? Growing your vegetables and stuff in your front yard. So if you eat organic, all wet plant-based, right? It'll be cheaper for me to go buy some dirt, buy some seeds, and grow in my front yard. That's why I want to get up to a red flower bed in my yard where I can have beets, mustard greens, collard greens, all that stuff, and I have to go pay $50 and only eat for 2 days.
But more specifically to answer your question, generally, right? A small mom and pop, right? That is, trying to survive in the weed game is generally gonna be the easiest end user or the easiest end seller that you can be, which is a delivery service. Takes the least amount of money to get into.
So that's like you said, Frank. You said our end, what the best end is going to be through transportation.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where the money is going.
Well, that ain't really transportation, right? So a delivery service, it is a dispensary on wheels. It's not you're not dealing with no other dispensaries, no other licensees. You dealing with the public. So it's delivery services. The nigga that show up at your door with the eighth, talking about Cash App me,
right?
Send it on the Cash App, goddammit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Cash App me.
Yeah. Right. That's
I'm gonna tell you I'm here. You gonna send me the Cash App, then I'm gonna come to your door.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is the easiest way for a mom and pop to maintain a business is because everything is already done for you, right? You just selling the product,
right?
Because everything's packaged up. You can't sell nothing. There ain't no weed in no plastic bags. Everything is packaged, sealed with the barcode on it, traceable all the way back to the first plant. You feel what I'm saying? And priced. You already know what you're supposed to get. The price is not negotiable. I don't get there. You be like, well, I only got 40. Nah.
Yeah.
So you already know.
You didn't read the brochure.
So basically, it ain't bought in pounds no more. It's bought in units now.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get 100 units. But that's the cold part, because that was the one thing that actually, like I said, I was I was all the way in there like
Nick,
swimwear, bro. Yeah.
Nick, if you ever sell me 100 units, I'm gonna bust your head open. It's 128 units. Nigga, don't fucking play. 128 eighths in a pound. Don't play with me.
I was trying to
Bust
stick
your
one
head
in on
right
you.
open.
This some market value, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tear out the packaging. It was on the tear. You know what I'm saying? But Shell, so the thing is, right? And like we said, we're gonna close it up, right? So if you actually focus on, because it'll drive you stir crazy if you actually trying to do the numbers and think you're gonna make it out of it. Period. It's not a easily attainable scenario, right? Period. Yeah.
Levels to that.
Yeah, it's all the way levels, to that part. Yeah. But
why? Because anything that's going to be that great profitable, they're going to make it that hard of a process. So that's how you know that that's where the money really resides. And like you said, in what aspect you're going to try to come in on it. But that's why they know that to start up, like you said, you got to have money and strong skill to survive that part of it.
Mm-hmm. So I got a story to tell you before we leave, right? So at one time we had a 200-gallon pot, right? The one plant,
the grow off
weed plant, was over 50 pounds on that one plant, right? And that's too much, but it's one plant. So if I say I want to do my rec, right, like legally my rec, and I had six 200 gallons, that was 50 pounds a piece.
The thing is, they'll be waiting for your ass to harvest because you can only have 8 ounces in your house to dry flowers.
So there you go.
Your dog, that's right.
That's the thing. They're going to be waiting on
you to harvest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Coming with the wood chipper, baby.
And I'm saying, when you try to be slick like that, they be like, "Oh yeah, is that what?"
Yeah, that's what the Mendo Dope Boys did, right? So these dudes, they did one season outside. They did 25 plants, right? And I'm talking about these plants was like trees.
Like trees, yeah.
625 pounds, right? And fucking sheriffs, the sheriffs came. They chopped down like 3 or 4 trees, right? And had that shit hanging up. And then the sheriffs came and chopped down all that shit, right?
There you go.
And then left their ass with the 6 littlest plants. So next year, they said, okay, well, we grew in 25-gallon bags. Now we're going to grow in 100-gallon bags. And we're just going to grow 200-gallon bags. And we're going to grow 6 plants. And these plants look like oak trees. They had to stand on 12-foot ladders.
Fruit ladders.
Plants. They look like big-ass orange trees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send you I'll send you the link, YouTube link. You'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hellacious plants.
Yeah.
That's Nick's people. They up there where this nigga live at.
But the thing is, we had pineapples.
White boy rappers and shit, right?
You know,
they dope too. They dope. Mendo dope. Yeah, dope.
We had pineapples, but no matter how you try to add it up, right? You still got to come to the people when you ask for permission to do something when you have to ask permission before. That's all. That's the whole thing. This has been interesting conversation, man.
Right, it has been. This has been a good one. Another good one. In the history books, we have been live once again. I want to thank everybody that joined us on live, Facebook and YouTube. Sorry about that. Join us on the replay on both platforms. Like, share, subscribe. I need to start putting that up.
Yeah, for
the podcast to get people to like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Go over to YouTube, give us a sub over there. I want to thank everybody that was in the comments today. Also want to thank my Piranhas. Without you guys, be no me, trust and believe.
This is what we do.
Love swimming with y'all every day.
Every day.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I
We
have
love you.
been
Thank you.
Kingfish Mac, along with my piranhas, Miss Nick Mo, my boy Nick Nass, and my
Yeah,
boy
yeah.
Flyer. We have been live at 5 in the Piranha Pond, and now we are